All right. Uh, let us head back. And now for the part I have been waiting for. The part I have really been waiting for and looking forward to. Let's call Garvey. Let's call Mr. Garvey. Alright. So there it is. Marcus Garvey. Look for me in the whirlwind. The freedom speech. So they are saying it's speculated as to whether this was in 1924, but it's around that time. Now, I want you to keep that date in mind and listen to what Garvey is talking about. Afrikans, I shall now begin the reading in the book of Garvey, chapters. Caption reads, "Look for me in the whirlwind." No, this is the good news, brothers and sisters. This is the gospel, y'all. This is the gospel. Garvey says there is no future for a people who deny their past. Boom. Right there, as we are just starting. There is no future for a people who deny their past. And this can be true for our great past as Africans. It is also true for our past of suffering. If we deny that that thing existed and it's real, we don't have a future. Garvey says, my foreparents, my grandparents, my mother, my father, did not suffer and die to give me an education to slight, oppress, or discourage my people. So Garvey was saying the position that I'm in and the advantages that have been given to me were not meant for me to oppress, slight, and discourage my people. And you will understand these are some of the elements that in Garvey's message really resonated with me. And I just ended up somewhat being obsessed with this kind of literature. But Garvey, when I was reading this, man, it was speaking to the soul, to the inward parts, straight in and out, and connecting to everything in the universe. Hey, Hotep brothers, shout out to the Hotep brothers over, out in the world. Yeah. So, all right. I want to come here where I highlighted again. Listen to what Garvey said. I unequivocally rejected the racist assumption of much white American Christianity, namely that God created the black man inferior. There we go. What did I say? I said I am not about that narrative that, this, the whiteness, this concept, because there's a time at which people started calling themselves white. It's not an ancient thing. In recent history, people start calling themselves white, and they said it means all things pure and godly. But as I already said, even before I read this for you, I already said I don't agree with that notion that we as Africans exist for the benefit of Europeans to serve. No. If you're an African and you agree with that kind of thinking, you and I won't get along. I absolutely don't agree with that notion. We're not here for anyone else's conveniences. To hell with that. We don't exist here for anyone else's conveniences. I unequivocally I unequivocally rejected the racist assumption of much white American Christianity, namely that God had created the black man inferior and that he'd intended Negroes to be a servant class, givers of wood and drawers of water. Well, I predicated my view of man on the doctrine of Imago Dei. All men, regardless of color, are created in the image of God. Garvey was like, you don't have any greater rights to breathing, to enjoying life, to reaping the benefits of nature and the earth. You don't deserve that any more than me. You understand? You're not entitled to it. I was like, oof, power. If you deserve it, you're entitled to it, so am I, in equal measure. For 250 years, we have struggled under the burden and rigors of slavery. We were maimed. We were brutalized. We were ravaged in any way. This is that past. Don't deny that. But don't worry, I'm gonna do a reaction video soon for Candace Owens where she downplays this history. We're gonna go for it, Candace Owens. It's all part of this dissecting of what's happening in the culture wars in Europe and North America and other places. But it's going to be important. And please bear with me as I go into the minutiae of all of these things that are happening, the propaganda wars and the culture wars going on in Europe and America. But it's important. It's important. It influences what happens on our shores. We were maimed, we were brutalized, we were ravaged in every way. Documented history. We are men. We have hopes, we have passions, we have feelings, we have desires, just like any other race. See, this for me was gospel. I was like, Garvey, that's it. That's it. We have never said we want anything special. We have just said we just want what's ours. Because this is our land, the resources in this land are ours. Do you understand? So we want what's ours. The ground we stand on is ours. So you can't be coming through here and, playing games and, backhanded tactics to get our stuff. Come honestly, and we will see. We'll decide a price for you. What do you want? Oh, you want gold? Okay. There's the price. Goodbye. You know what I'm saying? For a price determined by us. Goodbye afterwards. Thank you for your business. That's how it's supposed to be. Not you telling us how things must go now. Doesn't make sense. How you come into South Africa, you do mining, and you don't even take care of the community where you are polluting. And everyone is there, poor, impoverished, hungry, and sick because of your activity. You don't even take care of them. So no. Ibrahim Traore said, no more. You gonna pay. You go pay, Oga. Yeah. So you must pay. Just about justice. I mean, hey, guys, you can disagree with me if I'm talking nonsense here. Anyway, let's continue. The cry is raised all over the world, of Canada for the Canadians, of America for the Americans, of England for the English, of France for the French, of Germany for the Germans. Do you think it's unreasonable that we, the blacks of the world, should raise a cry of Africa for Africans? Now, this is key because, as I said to you, some of the earliest influencers of Pan-Africanism were in the African diaspora. Garvey was from Jamaica. He went to the US at some point. The guys in the Haitian Revolution's diaspora. Do you understand? Pan-Africanism, a lot of it came out of the diaspora. Listen to how Garvey is talking. He's saying, do you think it unreasonable that we, not the blacks in America, not blacks in the West Indies, no, blacks of the world. Pan-Africanism, right here. You will never hear Marcus Garvey talking about saying the word Pan-Africanism. I haven't, unless he said it somewhere. You know, I stand to be corrected, but I've never heard Garvey use those exact words, Pan-Africanism. But listen to what he says. The blacks of the world should raise a cry of Africa, Africans. So he's saying all of us, black people around the world, should raise this cry that Africa is our homeland. In the same way that Jews swear by Israel, Italians swear by Italy, and so on and so on and so on. Makes sense. Reasonable proposition, I think. Now listen to this. Well, the Belgians have control over the Belgian Congo, which they cannot use. I don't even want to talk about the Congo because it just breaks my heart, the story of the Congo. What Leopold did there, King Leopold of Belgium. Terrible. I mean, I don't even want to get into it. It would take me all night just to unpack it. They have not the resources to develop, nor the intelligence. Hey, Garvey was throwing shots here as well. The French have more territory than they can develop. There are certain parts of Africa in which you cannot live at all. So it is for you to come together and give us a United States of Africa. Garvey is talking to Africans here. In America, in Holland. He's talking to Africans in the diaspora. He says, you must come together and give us a United States of Africa. Now, I'm not sure if this was the first time these words were uttered, but I don't know anyone else who said this around this time. United States of Africa. And that is why you remember in the last video, Puso and I spoke a lot about Garvey and how central he was to Pan-Africanism. This is why. We are not going to be a race without a country. God never intended it, and we're not going to abuse God's confidence in us. We are men, human beings, capable of the same acts as any other race, possessing under fair circumstances the same intelligence as any other race. Boom! Boom! In an equal fight, y'all know we're gonna kick your behind. You know. In a fair fight, you know. I mean, don't be acting like you don't know Mike Tyson, you don't know Muhammad Ali, you don't know Serena Williams. You know, in a fair fight, straight up. Don't act like you don't know Booker T. Washington. Huh? Don't act like you don't know genius, intelligence, athletic ability that we have demonstrated throughout history, even with your foot on our neck. Don't act like you don't know that. But some of us know, and that's why we're not worried about your bigotry and your prejudice to us. It's inconsequential, bro. What we want is to reclaim what is ours and have power. That's it. how you feel about us. Oh, these niggas, kafirs, monkeys. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Once we have power, we can decide whether we want to squash you for opening up your little pink lips. Let me not get petty, but I just get angry and passionate and all at the same time when we are having this discussion. Now, Africa has been sleeping, not dead, only sleeping. Today, Africa is walking around not only on her feet, but on her brains. Say that again. What did I say? What did I say in the beginning? All the problems that we have, almost all the mineral wealth in the world is over here. Majority of the mineral wealth in the world is over here. And yet, here is where the most impoverished populations live in real time. Not lived, live in real time. Home of the richest lands in terms of mineral wealth. This is where you find the biggest poverty. Some of the most fertile land, hunger, like you can't believe. Walking not only on our feet, but our brains. Because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. My spiritual teacher, His Excellency Benami, used to say something. To develop Africa would be so easy. To develop Africa would be so easy. But there are so many problems. So many structures put in place and things like that. Make it impossible. But we cannot use these things as excuses and crutches. Look, man, if you're saying you want to lead here in Africa, you can't be telling us that you are afraid to die. You don't want to do the things that need to be done because you're afraid to die, or you're afraid that you're not going to get the money, you're not going to get paid. Look, man, then don't be a leader. Don't stand up. Don't put your hand up if you're afraid to die. We need Traores up in here. You must be prepared because for sure, you best believe anyone who's going to try to change anything on the African continent, as I keep saying, will become a target. You're going to have a target on your back, and you better be prepared for that. Even myself talking like this, I don't think my mother would necessarily be happy with me. She specifically warned me not to speak too much about politics, because she knows me, that I get into these things. But there's no way we can just keep quiet. At some point something's got to give. Those coups in West Africa, that is what they represent. People get tired. They're like, no, man, enough is enough. We die. Once. Rather that than to live on your knees forever. Again, another nugget over here, this highlighted portion. I don't have to apologize to anybody for being black because God Almighty knew exactly what He was doing when He made me black. So you have to understand why Marcus Garvey was one of those black leaders who was never liked in America. This man was hated because of saying things like this. That and again, this is why Steve Biko in South Africa was hated. Steve Biko could have said something like this. That I don't need to apologize to you for being me, for existing. To hell with that, man. You understand? So these are the things that resonated with me. Self-determination, confidence in who you are, and not feeling like you need to apologize to anyone for existing. To hell with that, Afrikans. We're not existing here for anyone's conveniences. We exist here for our own purposes. Let's keep going. Power, power. All of these things, Africans that were done in the early 1900s, that were said by Garvey in the early 1900s, still relevant to you today. Still very relevant to you today. Look for me in a whirlwind. No, I think I must start this one. You see, this is it. I must read this whole thing. This is the one. If black people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves. Yes, you heard of Johnny Walker Red and Black. Well, he had his adversity, but he's still going strong. Well, I intend with your help and God's grace to continue, because my work has only just begun. Excuse me. And future generations shall have in their hands the guide by which they shall know the sins of the 20th century. Guys, Garvey is saying in his eyes, he was seeing himself as laying some kind of foundation for us, future generations. And I think it is absolutely a travesty that we have not made the kind of progress that we should have made in all these years since his departure. I know, and I know you too, believe in time, where we shall wait patiently for 200 years if need be to face our enemies through our posterity. Garvey said he would face his enemies through us who are coming after him. So this is why I'm saying to y'all, you kill Garvey, another one comes. Kill Sankara, Traore comes. This thing won't end until this contradiction with us and those who came and oppressed and colonized and dispossessed, until that contradiction is resolved. This thing is not ending. You take out myself, Gwama Senga, Kondeleli Mrauzi wa Gwama Senga, take me out. Few generations down the line, someone in my bloodline is coming. It's not ending this thing until we resolve this contradiction. Telling you, when my enemies are satisfied, in life I shall come back, or in death, even to serve you as I served before. In life I shall be the same. In death I shall be a terror to foes of African liberty. Yes, Garvey, you continue to be a terror. I mean, when I'm reading this right now, and any white supremacists who are going to watch this thing are going to be terrorized. Garvey is terrorizing from the beyond. Yeah, that's what's up. If death has power, then count me to be the real Marcus Garvey I would like to be. If I may come in an earthquake or a plague or a pestilence, or if God would help me, then be assured that I shall never desert you and make your enemies triumph over you. Will I not go to hell 1,000,000 times for you? If I should die in Atlanta, my work will only just then begin. For I shall live in the physical or the spiritual to see the day of Africa's glory. That is what a Pan-African is. It's one of the core elements that ties us, because we know the potential that this continent has, and that now we are existing way below our potential, and we feel it is unacceptable. Shout out to my brother King said so. You know I'm right, King. You know I'm right. Oh, by the way, y'all need to start commenting, man. This is not a monologue. Okay, here's the thing. I will put up these 2 articles if you say, please do it, my brother. How about that? I'll put up these 2 articles for y'all. No one says anything. Oh, well. Well, come on. Let's talk. Let's, want to have dialogue with you. Even if you want to disagree with me and say, you're talking nonsense, it's fine. Just say something. Say something in the comments, guys. Let's talk. Let's talk about this. This is your home. If you're African, this is your home. For real. Like, yeah. Where was I? Yes, Africa's glory. When I am dead, wrap the mantle of the red, the black, the green around me. For in the new life I shall rise up with God's grace and blessings to lead the millions of the heights in the triumph that you well know. Look for me in a whirlwind or a storm. Look for me all around you. For with God's grace I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and life. I rest my case. Your worship. Now, look, man, this is what I'm saying. Look, I don't care what Europe and America, their allies, do. You are not going to finish us. You're trying to finish us. It's not working. Killed all our leaders, Lumumba, Sankara. I mean, you killed all, you just kept killing, you know? But they or Faye, Sonko, Mkondeleli wa Gwamasenga, Kagiso Hlongwane. You can't. This thing will only be resolved once this contradiction has been dealt with and, you know, justice has been established in how we deal with each other. As long as there's backhanded tactics and all this funny stuff, backdoor things, it's never going to be settled. And you will never sit in your capitals there in peace while you are sucking Africa dry. It's not going to happen. You are never going to have peace. Never going to have stability. I'm telling you. Listen to what Garvey said. With God's grace, I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, those who died in Africa, to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and life. Garvey is here, folks. Garvey is here. That's why you are seeing all these unprecedented things happening on the continent. I mean, this rise, this revolutionary wave, you know, these winds of change. And I'm saying to naysayers and the pessimists out there, even if this wave doesn't succeed in achieving this over here, African glory, it will only be suspended. It's still coming. And it's gonna just keep getting more and more intense generations until we get what is due to us. I thank you. Now listen to this. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race, a leadership that will enslave you. Garvey felt this statement was so important, he said it twice. And I agree with him. The only leaders that are going to take us anywhere are those leaders who are talking about self-determination, self-reliance. That you have to build your own thing. You have to create your own reality. You have to imagine your own reality for yourself and look at the world through your own eyes. Damn it. Jeez. Why is this thing so difficult for us though? I mean, we are just always looking at things filtering through other people's warped views. Let me wrap this up, yo. It's just the gospel of Pan-Africanism makes me so passionate. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. I'm saying, y'all, the leadership we have had in Africa. I mean, Garvey here was obviously talking about North America and those other places in the diaspora. I'm talking about Africa right now, more specifically. We have had a leadership that led us to be slaves because they taught us to depend on other people for everything, literally, from the food we eat to the clothes on our back, everything. Unacceptable. So we are here to change that thing. We're here to work, guys. See, I was feeling so tired today, just got back from my day job. But there's no time. Must work. By the way, I'm also trying to build a company on the side. Work. African, we must work. Like the thing. Piano. Piano. That's our thing. Work. Work. Who would show me what? Huh? Oh. I can't be eternal slaves, folks. It's unacceptable. Africa with 4, but we have decided to find a leadership of our own, to make ourselves free men. Our great scholars have advanced through the colleges and universities, have thrown away the blackened record. And then obviously Garvey lists all those other people who did it. Babylon did it, Assyria did it, France under Napoleon did it, Germany under Prince von Bismarck did it, England under so-and-so, and then he says America under George Washington did it. Africa with 400 million black people can do it. Garvey was saying we can pick ourselves up and restore order and sense in the world and balance, because right now it's not balanced. With the current state that we are in, there's no balance, there's no sense in the present state of things. It's actually absurd. If you cannot do it, if you are not prepared to do it, then you will die. And this is exactly how Garvey said it. Then you will die. And that is exactly it. You know, I talk to a lot of people about the issues that we face and the fact that there's work that needs to be done, especially to my brothers. I deal with black men. Brothers, we gotta work, yo. We gotta change it. And guess what? If I'm talking to you and you are coming to explain, hey, you know, we were conquered a long time ago. How are we going to change this? You know, it's impossible. Then you will die. That's all I got for you. If you're not willing to at least, you know, fight, you know, put up a fight, then you will die. You race of cowards, you race of imbeciles, you race of good for nothings. Oh, Garvey was giving a tongue lashing here. Tongue lashing here. Because, come on, guys, our reality doesn't make sense. I've just outlined it for you. Our conditions don't make sense. It can't be. Ooh. Let's wrap up, guys. Oh, the gospel of Pan-Africanism. Can I get a witness, brothers and sisters? If you cannot do what other men have done, what other nations have done, what other races have done, then you had better die. Straight up. Straight up. If we are not able to change our conditions, if we cannot get ourselves together, just die, man. Like really, just die. Understand? Can we do it? We can do it. We shall do it. We'll pray to God for vision and for leadership. And He has given us a universal vision, a vision that will not limit our possibilities to America, a vision that will not limit our possibilities to the West Indies, but a vision that says there must be a free and redeemed Africa. Is this not Pan-Africanism? Folks, is this not Pan-Africanism? He hasn't used the word Pan-Africanism, but listen to what he's saying. This I'm going to close with. Because the time has come for the black man to forget his hero worship of other races and to create and emulate heroes of his own. We must canonize our own saints, create our own martyrs, and elevate to positions of fame and honor black men and women who have made their distinct contribution to our race history, to the history of our race, our people. We come from a great people. There's just too much going on here. Let me check how much time I've spent on this. Oh boy. No. Folks, I've run out of time. Let me at least just read through it, Let me at least just read through it quickly. But if you ask for it, please, if you say in the comment, please send the articles. I will put them in the description. So Jonah Truth is worthy of a place of sainthood alongside Joan of Arc, Crispus Attucks, and George William Gordon are entitled to the halo of martyrdom with no less glory than the martyrs of any other race. Toussaint Louverture, brilliance as a soldier and a statesman, outshines that of any other people, hence is entitled to the highest place as a hero among men. Toussaint Louverture, those who know, was one of the leading figures in the Haitian Revolution. Great military man. Power. Napoleon knew him by the time that thing was over. Because Africa's created millions and countless millions of black men and women in war and peace, whose luster and bravery outshine that of any other people. So why not see good and perfection in ourselves? We must inspire a literature and promulgate a doctrine of our own, without any apologies to the powers that be. That right is ours from God. Let sentiments and cross opinions go to the winds. We are entitled to our own opinion, and we are not obligated to or bound by the opinions of others. Straight up. I don't care what you think. Your opinions, their own. And then what? What now? If others laugh at you, return the laughter at them. This is part of what Uso was saying. When someone calls you a monkey, you can call them a monkey back. But you must do that while building power so that you don't distract yourself. Very important. If others laugh at you, return the laughter to them. If they mimic you, return the compliment with equal force. See, these are some of the philosophies of black consciousness. You can see Biko here. If you punch me, I punch you. You treat me with respect, I treat you with respect. That's it. No apology. If they mimic you, return the compliment with equal force. Because they have no more right to dishonor, discredit you in manhood than you have in dealing with them. Honor them when they honor you, disrespect and disregard them when they vilely treat you. Their arrogance is but skin deep, an assumption that has no foundation in morals or in law. They have sprung from the same family tree of obscurity as we have. Their history is as rude and its primitiveness as ours. Their ancestors were running wild and living in trees of branches like monkeys as ours. They made human sacrifices, ate flesh of their own dead, and wild meat from beasts. For centuries, even as they have accused us of doing, their cannibalism was more prolonged than ours. When we were embracing the banks of the Nile, they were still drinking the blood out of the skulls of their conquered dead. After our civilization had reached a new day of progress, they were still living in holes with bats, rats, and other insects and animals. After we had already unfathomed the mystery of the stars and reduced the heavenly constellations to the minute and regular calculus, to minute and regular calculus, they were still backwoodsmen, living in ignorance and in blatant darkness. The world is indebted to us for the benefits of civilization. Right? So, folks, that is it from me today. I just wanted to share with you the gospel of Pan-Africanism. That is all I have for you today. Brothers and sisters, let me call it a night. I really just went over way beyond what I thought I would. We'll try to improve in future. I'll see you soon, brothers and sisters. Let's do